Good morning. This is Reverend Chuck Currie. I wanted to take this opportunity to wish a Merry Christmas to all those who read my blog and with whom I'm friends on Facebook. Just recently, the World Council of Churches released their annual Christmas message. In it, they said that New Testament accounts of the advent and nativity of Jesus stress the all-encompassing nature of the Christ event. Without reservation, biblical text says that God's grace appears to all, offering the promise of forgiveness, healing, and reconciliation with God in heaven and with our neighbors here on earth. I know that this has been a very difficult year for people across the United States. And today I particularly want to lift up the people involved with the Occupy Wall Street movement in New York, in Portland, and in places all across our country, for lifting up the issues of economic inequality that so many face. There are too many people in our nation today who are living in poverty, too many who are homeless, particularly children, and that's something that we can do something about. I hope that our churches become more involved in these issues. It isn't just a question about charity, but a question about justice. In the Christian tradition, we are called to lift up the least of these, and to treat those who are suffering as we would treat God. That's a pretty big mandate for Christians to follow, but it is the one that we have. And so I hope that we will continue to tackle these issues in new ways that promote the common good, and that one day will finally end poverty in our nation. At the same time, I want to acknowledge that the troops are coming home from Iraq, and to thank President Obama for that. But the war continues in Afghanistan, and there are conflicts across this globe that are fueled in part by religious differences. Christians can play a role in this, in trying to develop peace across our globe, by reaching out to people of faith, whether they be Muslim, whether they be Jewish, or one of the other great faith traditions on our planet. We have so much in common that our religion really should not be the deciding factor in what divides us. So I encourage us to do what our governments sometimes are unable to do, which is reach across national boundaries and look for opportunities to create friendships and dialogue between those who may be different from us in the way that they worship God, but to recognize that God has created us all and that we worship a God who wants us to be at peace with one another. And finally, as we march into this new year, I want to lift up the issue of our environment. Our rivers are declining. Water is becoming more scarce in different parts of the globe as glaciers melt, as storms become more epic. We are called to be stewards of creation, and in this we are failing. And there's a lot that churches can do to be leaders on this issue. And I hope that we do that. I hope that we answer that call from God. Christmas is a time of joyous celebration, an opportunity for us to gather with our friends and with our families, and to lift up all the good things that have happened in our lives. And I give thanks for all the blessings that we as a country in the United States have received, and for all the blessings that we find across our globe. But at the same time, we must recognize our responsibilities. As we enter into 2012, there's going to be a lot of debate about the future of our country. Let's try and make sure that that debate is positive and focused on issues and not personalities, and that the church is active in those debates, lifting up issues such as war and peace, the environment, and poverty. I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and look forward to talking with you and seeing many of you in the new year. God bless.